What's up, guys? How's it going? It's Yoda Joe 93 with you guys today. So, as you guys know, if you made it to my watch party yesterday, we had the Superman and Lois season 3 finale yesterday. And guys, if your kids are watching this video or they're with you in the room, get them out of the room now because we have to talk about this fucking amazing finale. Like, this doesn't just make me happy as a TV watching fan. This made me smile as a Superman fan. Like, we have to talk about this, guys. This is the CW should be proud. Okay, I know HBO Max is the one that makes the budget, but we need to give Todd Helbing, who I questioned some of the things he made in Flash were a bit iffy, questionable, but I think it was mostly because he didn't have the budget to make his vision play out. But he's done a remarkable job as Superman. I loved Superman Lois season 1. I like season 2. I have issues, but I like it. I love season 3. And this finale is no different. But this finale takes it up to a level that we thought we didn't have and it elevates it further. So let's talk about it right from the get-go. So last episode, Lex Luthor threatened Lois to quit journalism because she basically put him in prison instead of Bruno Mannheim. And so in this episode, we have Lois looking over her shoulder. But what's nice is, as you guys know in my season 4 videos, all the side characters are being cut for next season. So with this season, we have all these characters getting their final moments, if you will. Not that anyone dies, but just let's put them in places where we could tell their story in another show or another thing, or a book or another form of media without having to condense moments of a show. So they set them up with really big happy storylines, payoffs for their characters. So rounding out the list, so we get, after the turmoil that Lois goes through this season with her cancer, her and Clark finally get to have romantic time, and it was beautiful, guys. The fact that she has not been looked at in that way since her cancer, because she had the surgery that affected her body. I forget what they call it. I think it's a double vasectomy or something.
Double mastectomy?
Yeah, when a girl when they do cancer.
Mastectomy?
And yeah. So that is really hard, and she was having a hard time this season. And this is why this is great, not only television, but great superhero television, because they're touching on real topics. They're telling you, this is hard for this person. They've never had this. And Clark is such a strong, and it makes him so likable as a husband, but also as a character, because you see this happen, and you see him go, come here, baby, I love you for you, and we're going to, and it makes my heart melt, and it just be brilliant. And what I love about this finale is called What Kills You Only Makes You Stronger, and I think a lot of us, we know Doomsday's in this finale, which we'll talk about him later. I personally was I was on the entire time watching this finale, even when the gushy romantic stuff was on, I was mad. I was happy we were getting the gushy romantic stuff, but I had this feeling in the back of my brain, my heart was pumping. I was like, no, don't do this, because what the cool thing is, the beginning of this finale it feels like a serious finale in the sense that we're saying goodbye to characters, but it's not a serious finale because we're moving forward. But it also doesn't feel like a finale where, beginning of the finale, ramped up, let's get into the action, let's go, let's deal with Lex Luthor, let's do this. No, this finale is like the calm before the storm. We get the romantic stuff, then we plan this trip to go to Europe as a family with the Kent family, which is cool. You have Sam, he goes, Lois's dad goes and finally finds love, but this episode is filled of betrayal and twists. So, as much as it was nice to see him get a nice little story, slice of the pie, senior dating app was very nice. Unfortunately, dun dun dun, she works for Lex Luthor, and it gets built into the plan. Another fun fact about this episode is we don't see Lex Luthor for two-thirds of this episode, which kind of shocked me because we just got him in the last episode. And he was in a lot of last episodes. You'd think he'd dominate the finale. But don't get me wrong, he's still pulling the strings from the back. This is still very much his plan that happens in the episode. But there's just so many other things to focus on. And this is such a well-paced finale. You have so much stuff so we get to see, finally, Jordan gets to make amends with Sarah. They finally work their shit out. I'm glad. And I'm sorry, I might be mean for saying this, but thank you, Todd Helbing, for getting rid of Sarah. I know that she's going to be better. I know she can improve her character arc, but she's baggage we just don't need on this show. And congrats, Kyle and Chrissy, for not only both getting to be pregnant, but getting married. And that did weigh on Lana, but Lana gets John Henry Irons, a.k.a. Steel. I will say, out of all the cast members that are leaving that I will actually miss next season, I'm a little bummed that we're losing Steel. Because Steel was, if you guys don't know from the comics, Steel was kind of another version of Superman, like from the comics where they had the reign of the Superman in the animated stuff, where he like had like a hammer like Thor, and here he's got like a robot suit, and he was meant to be, first they introduced him as Captain Luthor, but he wasn't really Luthor, he was just another guy, John Henry Irons, and had this awesome hammer from the comics. And they've done such a good job with that character. And he's got great action this season. So I'm glad that he's finally getting is it sad he's leaving? Absolutely. Oh, bad sneeze. Like, I'm sad he's leaving, but I understand. And his story, him and Natalie's story, wraps up in a very beautiful way. I hope him and Lana do. I hope we get something, maybe like a reference in season 4, where we find out where they're at. I hope that him and Lana do get to move to Metropolis and their storyline continues and we get to see more, because I really love their relationship. The fact that he asked her out was so beautiful. He was so honest with her in saying, yeah, unfortunately I took this job and moved into Metropolis, but they still went on that date and they got bow chicka bow wow, like, and it was awesome. Like, it was so cool, very well done, but not in a one night stand kind of way, in a respectful, like, I love this girl kind of way. And it was beautiful. It was literally so beautiful and so well done. And I don't have the clips in this video, but if I had one clip to describe this season finale, it would be the Homelander clip from The Boys. This episode is perfect. It was perfect, right down to the last minute details. It was perfect. And we're not even done discussing. We're at the 6-minute mark, but it was fucking perfect, guys. So you're seeing we're getting these goodbyes, we're getting these nice moments. Unfortunately, Jonathan's storyline didn't get a lot, but I think we're going to see a lot more of Jonathan in season 4, so that's okay. But what I do want to say is, so we're building up the meat and potatoes, so all these things are happening, we're getting these goodbyes, this meteor shower is going down, good stuff is happening around, love is in the air, the Kents are planning this trip, and it's nice. Chrissy's pregnant, then Chrissy and Kyle get engaged with this nice family moment with each of the family members. I love Zoe, the little girl. She's so cute. She's like, it means I'm not the baby anymore. It was so funny, and it was so well done. And the Kents are still struggling. Jordan still needs to learn how his powers work. So that Jordan's kind of still an angsty teenager. We're still struggling with him. Him and Clark are still kind of going rounds about using his powers and whatever. But you have to agree with what Clark's saying. He needs to be responsible, and Clark is trying to teach his son how to do things the right way. And being a superhero is not about the glory. It's about the reward of saving people and treating this gift as what it is, something that God gave us. And that is brilliant and beautiful, and I love it. And so then, later in the episode, we get to a situation where things are going bad at the DOD. We have Lois's father is kidnapped by the girl that he thought he was on a date with, and they were getting hot and heavy, but she works for Lex. And then, but before this happens, we get this brilliant montage. When we see Lex Luthor for the first time, we find out 33 days later after the last episode what happened with Lex Luthor and Bizarro. And Bizarro's been like zombie-defied, and he's like a zombie Superman. He's been eating rats and like kind of festering up, doing whatever, and going crazy. And so then Lex kind of strings him up and tells him, hey, I'm going to hurt you a bunch, but when I do, nothing will be able to stop you. And it's at this moment where we realize that this is it. Bizarro becomes Doomsday. And when we get to that crescendo, guys, and we will, you guys are going to be blown. When we talk, out of all my notes on this review, I have the biggest things to say about Doomsday. But we're saving that because we got to keep building up. So then we get this great montage where Lex is taking all these Kryptonian weapons and like all these power tools and just destroying the shit out of Bizarro and just like making him angry, basically killing him a bunch of times. Because the thing with Doomsday, guys, is when you kill him, he always comes back stronger. So they kill him so many times so that he goes completely from Bizarro to being full Doomsday. And so, which we'll get to in a minute. So then he gets all the gadgets he needs. He asks for Lois's pager so he can summon everything. And then he goes and he has a conversation. We get this great tense confrontation with Lex Luthor and Superman. Because as everyone's watching the meteor shower, Clark finds Lex right back at the Kent farm, and so he goes and sees him. And Superman's like, this Lex is so terrifying. He's like, I've been waiting for you. This is the moment we all been waiting for, and it's brilliant. And then, right down to the last detail, when everything goes brilliant, he literally goes and he pulls the button. He's like, you ever died before, Superman? You're about to feel what it's like. And he basically calls him, you're a lapdog for the government. You're not a hero. I'm like, just this life with it is awesome. And then he pulls the switch, and the barn explodes. And from the sky, something falls, and out of that barn, guys, we get, when the smoke clears, when the dust settles, we get our first look at Doomsday. And I have said in this season that in season 2 and season 1, when they had this movie budget, every episode felt cinematic and super like crazy, and we've had some action this season, but nothing's been like to the level that we had in season 1. Or even some of the things in season 2 that's dealt with the multiverse. So I was like, this season's been great, but it's been more of a emotional, more of a drama-filled season. But the drama's been interesting. It hasn't been drama for the sake of the drama for CW. It's been interesting, important stuff. It's been good. But it sounds like they took that budget that they had and they saved it for this finale. Because when you see Doomsday, guys, the first look at Doomsday, he completely shits all over the Dawn of Justice Doomsday that looks like a fucking Michael Bay Ninja Turtle meets the Cave Troll from Lord of the Rings. This is the real Doomsday. This budget is incredible. And he looks incredible. He sounds amazing. He's got all the spikes and the details. And so, first thing I'm going to say, because I know we were in a COVID area when this stuff was being filmed, visual effects artists, pat on the back. Pat on the back. Like Jeff Goldblum said. You did an amazing job, and you should be given a raise. When this writer strike's over, I want you guys to get a raise, because this was incredible. I've never seen, I remember when they did Doomsday on Smallville, and Smallville, for its time, had pretty decent budget. If you go back and watch Smallville, and you look at Doomsday in Smallville, there's no way it could ever compare to the Doomsday we get here. And so now the moment we see Doomsday, this is where my stomach starts to turn, and I start to get the feeling like, this is it. They kill Superman. This is what happens. And so then we get this battle between these two. And remember, budget has been low this season, so we haven't done a bunch of crazy Superman. He's saved people, we've stopped tornadoes, but there hasn't been a lot of Superman taking down bad guys with superpowers this season. So they've been saving that budget. The reason they saved that budget is we get the best Superman fight scene in the history of Superman fight scenes. Doomsday and Superman are fighting it out, from the barn to the meteor to everything, and then Superman gets dragged through the tunnels where Bizarro was, gets the shit kicked out of him. And they even show blood on the CW. Superman's face is bloody. He's beaten, just like the comics. It's like comics come to life. And Tyler Hoechlin's performance in this episode, brilliant. He's still one of my favorite Supermans. He's crushing it. And then, literally, Lois sees Clark getting dragged off into the sky with Doomsday. Doomsday's got Clark in his clutches. We don't think Clark's gonna be. We think this is it. Nothing's gonna happen, because he takes him out up by the sun, and you hear Lois go, Clark, just like in the comics, that super hearing that Clark has. And then you get this montage of memories, and in this montage, Clark's seeing his life, like, okay, this is it, he's gonna die. But Superman wakes up, and he takes Doomsday, and he takes him to the fucking moon, and that budget was used for these two guys to fight these creatures, these titans of this gladiator deathmatch, this Godzilla versus King Kong of super beings are fighting it out. And right as before the camera fades to black, we get that beautiful Superman and Lois score. The last shot is Superman with his hands up, doing the Superman, flying at Doomsday. Doomsday's pulling up the spikes from his body and using them as knives, and they're charging each other. And then, bam, cliffhanger. It's basically like, oh, you thought Across the Spider-Verse knew how to do a cliffhanger. Fuck you guys. This is how we do it. And yes, I'm mad that I have to wait for season 4 because I want to know what happens next. But also, this was a brilliant way to end this episode. Because one, we don't know what happens to Superman yet, but we got this incredible fight, and this isn't like they didn't just bring in Doomsday for the season finale and then kill Superman and then that's it. We're gonna get more of this. So when the first episode of season 4 happens, it's gonna be more. It's gonna be more and more and more. And so, anyway, guys, And I have a couple theories about where we're gonna go in season 4. I think I'll do a video about that probably tomorrow with my after my season 3 finale review, where we're gonna talk about where I think that there's gonna be a time jump in season 4. I think everything's gonna move forward, so we're gonna see things either Clark did die and then time moves forward, or we'll see their fight continue and then we'll get a time jump. I think it's gonna be similar to in Lord of the Rings, where Gandalf fought the Balrog, and then we see him like he's gone, and then before he comes back as Gandalf the White, we get like that montage of him fighting the Balrog through the different things. So I think we might get something similar, but we'll see. This was amazing, guys. I'm gonna give Superman and Lois the season finale 10 out of 10. Let's go. Let's get 700 subscribers right now. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next Superman video. Have a great day.